I wonder if it'll let me. Hello, if you guys are in here. This is kind of a weird setup because I am actually on the road and I'm trying to send this link out to everybody on Patreon, but I don't know if that's gonna I don't know how that's gonna go. Hello. Holy cow, that's really stupid. Oh boy, oh boy. I can't even see the chat. Why can't I see the chat? Yeah, there we go. Yo, Trev, what's going on? Okay, now I can see the chat. Okay. So this is sort of an awkward stream because I'm actually on the road. I'm driving to Pittsburgh, and then I fly out of Chicago tomorrow night, or fly into Chicago rather, for Star Wars Celebration. So, yeah, using that data for sure, for sure. And I felt bad because yesterday some stupid stuff happened. We were supposed to stream yesterday and talk about Patreon and talk about what we wanted to do. And yeah, yesterday just was a no-go. I had really stupid stuff going on. So I still work part-time at a restaurant on the weekends. And even though I'm like barely there, like I'm literally barely there, they occasionally call me if they really, really need something. Yo, Brian, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you popping on in here. Hopefully, I'm gonna wait just a little bit, and hopefully some other people can come in here as well. But to be fair, either way, we're gonna have to. Oh yeah, that's cool, man. That's really cool, man. Ah, no way. Okay, so man, I'm blanking on the kid's name, but yeah, no, I remember that. He came in. That's actually I was just talking about the restaurant. So he came in to the restaurant, and I saw him looking at he was looking at Thanos memes. Jeff Wing is the dad. Yeah, he was a cool guy, man. He was like, they were just eating, and his son was like looking up Thanos memes, and I was just like joking around with him or whatever, and I was like, yeah, you should check out the Den of Nerds. I know the guy. He's pretty cool or whatever. And then the kid like checked it out, and thought it was like really cool, and so I like took a picture with him and stuff. But yeah, no, he seemed like a good kid. That's crazy that you know that guy though, isn't that isn't that crazy? It's a small world, man. It's a small world. So, yeah. Yeah, man, the world is getting smaller. So, just off the bat, did you guys have any yeah, dude, Trev, celebration. I'm excited. I'm also like nervous. I want to see what happens. I'm interested to see if the like what's happening with the fan base, like what's Disney's approach here? Is anything going to happen? Is it just going to be fine? Because we're obviously in a much different spot than we were last celebration, so I'm pretty interested to see what happens. Yeah, so crazy story about that. So we applied for press and we got denied. And I'm not exactly sure why we got denied, but I'm pretty sure it's just because we've done some videos, like not a lot, like Trev, because you've been watching me for a long time. I'm not like super down on Disney. Like I actually like Star Wars where it's at, but I just try to give credence to the other side. Like I think it's ridiculous when people say it's a vocal minority that didn't like The Last Jedi. It's like, no, there's a lot of people that didn't like The Last Jedi. And so I try to like I'm not going to play that game. And I think Disney literally just probably saw a couple of my videos where I was talking about it, and they didn't like it very much. And so they got all mad, man. And they were like, no, we're not giving this guy press. But in either case, so I actually know the guy, Brian Stephenson, who actually runs the whole convention. Like he runs the whole thing. And so I met him through the Philadelphia Comic Con because we had a contract with him and actually met him. It was really cool. He's a really cool dude. And so I reached out to him a couple weeks ago and was like, hey, man, we got denied press. I wonder if there's anything you can do for me. And he was basically like, well, I can't give you press because Lucasfilm is really, really restrictive, right? But he's like, what I can do is I can just comp you tickets. So this dude just comped tickets for me and the whole team. And at this point, these tickets are like thousands of dollars in the secondary market. You know what I mean? Like to get these tickets now, it's pretty pricey. So he saved us a lot of money. So we're very excited. No, they don't want any controversial press. I mean, like, you know, I kind of get it or whatever, but like, I get it too. I just feel like it's a little unfair because ultimately, like, I've been one of the channels that has actually been really positive on Disney Star Wars. They just don't know it because I'm not, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm not like a shill. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel like I'm the guy that's like if I see a criticism or something, yeah. Yeah, so it is what it is. Did you guys have any, because like I said, we're going to do another live stream really, really soon, probably next week when I get back from Chicago. But do you guys have any ideas about like how to improve the Patreon? Because like I was trying to explain this in the one video that I did, but basically when I first envisioned the rewards, it was a totally different workflow. Like we had almost totally different content. And so a lot of that won't work. Like the early access will not work. You know what I mean? I mean, it can for certain videos. Like when I start up my podcast, we can give early access to that. But early access for the show probably not going to work. So I don't know if you guys, and it's cool if you don't either. Like you don't have to. But if you had some ideas of how we could ramp it up, that would be really cool because, like right now, there's actually people that have been reaching out because we just hired our social media guy, and there's people that have been reaching out and they want to be a part of the Patreon. And we're sort of telling them no for now because like, I want to work with you guys and get it revamped. So exclusive content is a good idea, but what kind of content? Like exclusive videos? Maybe, because like the live streams are without a doubt, I want to ramp up live streams, like Patreon live streams where we talk about things that we just don't talk about on the channel. You know, I can get really like intimate, you know, with you guys, like not in a weird way, but obviously, but like, you know, tell you what's actually going on and you know, a little less, it's not necessarily in the public eye. So we can talk a little bit more frankly about stuff. Some of the things that I was thinking about was, you know, for every live stream on the regular channel and maybe even at the end of every video, maybe having like a credits where we thank the Patreon supporters, you know what I mean? At the end of every video, just, you know, not super long or whatever, but, you know, just something to recognize them. Maybe every live stream, we actually call all the Patreons out by name, you know what I mean, at the end. Another thing, and, you know, this is just another sort of issue or whatever, is like we're really trying to integrate the Den of Nerds Gaming, which is the channel that Justin runs, and the main channel, and we really want to spend a lot of time in the back half of this year making sure that the branding is clean across everything, across all the social media, on the website, on the gaming channel, through the podcast. It all feels Den of Nerds. It's got the Den of Nerds vibe. It's, you know what I mean? So it's all Den of Nerds. So we're trying to figure out, well, what are we going to do with the video game people? Because the video game guys, you know, they come in for sort of a different kind of content. They're maybe looking for guides, you know, tips and tricks and different things. And it's like, well, how do we do that? Get all that working. One of the things I was thinking about too, I'm interested in what you guys think about this. I was thinking about doing a recap every week. So like the Nerdy News Rundown, you know what I mean? Obviously comes out 5 days a week. But I was thinking maybe it would be cool if like every Saturday I did a video which recapped all the stories we went over throughout the week and just updated them. Maybe there's something that came out afterwards. Maybe I could tell you guys like how people responded online to the videos. Yeah. Yeah, I think we were talking about that a few months ago. Yeah. And that way, like, I could just jump on, like, every Friday and just do that and do, like, a 10, 15-minute recap, just touch on everything and give you guys kind of, like, a, like, so basically, like, if you're, you know, if you're really, really into the show, because, like, we would convert some people from YouTube that would be really into the show. If they're really into it, then, like, oh, snap. Oh, geez. Can I get this to sit? God, this is like the weirdest live stream ever. But if we got people that were really into the show to do it, at the end of the week, they get like this extra version of the show where I'm like really casually kind of talking to them as a Patreon. And it's like this inside thing where I'm like, oh man, Monday's show, I did this. This is how people responded. And this is what happened since. Or, there was a rumor we talked about on Tuesday, and since that's been debunked, so forget about that. Or, even sort of giving an explanation of why I do certain things. Ooh, as a live stream. Okay. Yeah, that could be cool. That's actually a good idea, Brian. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Because even if they can't make it live, it'll still post as a video. Yeah, exactly. Just give them like an update, because one of the benefits is like if you're a hardcore person that's like watching the show and really involved, that's why the live streams, the fan chats have become very successful, is because it feels like a way to extend the conversation. Like people will watch the show or whatever, or catch a show, or they'll be a couple days behind or whatever, and then in the live chat they can yeah, that's not a bad idea, like a live stream Friday for Patreons and then post it later. Yeah, that's definitely not a bad idea. Yeah. But yeah, the fan chats themselves have sort of become a way to really extend the conversation and get the bond and the connection between, the content and then the community, because the community has always been very important to me. Like that's sort of the bedrock of what I want to do as a business, is not so much, really get away from not only the idea of one side of communication from media, but like really we're just all nerds, you know what I mean? And like we're all just into stuff and we want to geek out together. We want to just talk about these things together. And so I really, really want that to be a part of the vision. You know what I mean? It's got to be sort of important to however we move forward. That has to be sort of a bedrock for it. And like I thought about like I think like the business vlogs were like a good idea, but I just don't think, I mean, it's just sort of weird, right? Like I'm sort of going back and forth on the business vlog stuff because, sometimes there's stuff that I can't necessarily talk about. Then there's stuff that, I do want to talk about, but maybe it feels weird, having it exclusive for certain people that only pay so much or whatever. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've been sort of wrapping my head around it. I know Justin wants to do maybe some kind of tips and tricks thing, or have a rotating game that we all can play together or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously we missed the stream yesterday, so, people might not be able to chime in and come in tonight. And I'm only going to go for probably like 15 more minutes, but maybe they'll see this and then they can post some ideas here later. So if you're watching this on the replay, guys, please, yeah, drop your thoughts in here, and we're definitely going to do several more of these. How would I do it for the media content, though? I'm not sure what you mean, bud. Like the branding, or... Yeah. Yeah, the tips and tricks. I mean, it is tricky. That's the thing, is like ultimately we have the thing that's hard about it is, and it really takes time to like try to figure it out. Deep dives into comic stories related to the media. Yeah, I mean, there's similar to Comic Pop though. Yeah. I met those guys, by the way, Trev, Comic Pop, like Sal and all those guys. We actually did a panel together when I was at Philadelphia Comic Con. Benny and Sal were there. It was really cool meeting those guys. I like those guys a lot. Yeah, it's tricky because I think ultimately, like, we do sort of span a lot of different people. I mean, I think that the branding sort of speaks for itself, and people, yeah, I mean, to be frank, I don't really watch a lot of their stuff anyway, like either way. Like I like Benny's stuff, like I like Comic Story and stuff. I think the complete stories is really cool, and some of that stuff that he does is really great. Um, but yeah, like I don't necessarily watch Comic Pop all the time. Like I've watched it. Well, that's a whole nother thing. It's just because, like, honestly, I've fallen way out of comics. I'm sort of disenfranchised from comics right now. I'm gonna be checking out Hickman's stuff though when he comes back in July. Hopefully, that gets me like back into Marvel. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, I've sort of been out of the loop with comics in general. But that is to be fair, that's part of the problem. It's like we got sort of we cast a wide net. We have a lot of different people that watch the channels for different reasons, and we want to be able to give a reward, a benefit to everybody. You know what I mean? To everybody that wants to help us out, we want them to feel included. And so I think some of the baseline ideas of having the Patreons listed in different videos, I think is really important. Yeah, I think recapping the show content would be good, because the way I'm thinking about it in my head is even the people that maybe don't watch the Nerdy News Rundown all the time, they can still at least get a partially a rundown of everything that happened. But more importantly, they get sort of my behind the scenes thoughts. They get my behind the scenes thoughts of what it was like to shoot the show that week, and how it was for me actually. You know what I mean? Almost like a behind the scenes of like, what was it like? What is Josh thinking about all of the shows on a Friday after a week? You know what I mean? Like, cause like, I see people on the weekends and they'll be like, yeah, man, how's your week? How's YouTube? And I'll be like, either, oh, it was a great week, and we did huge numbers here, this, there, and the other, or it's like, oh, this is kind of a slow news week, whatever, did this, that, and the other thing. So I think that's cool. I think that's value kind of no matter how you come at it, so those type of ideas are kind of what I want to cling to. And obviously I want to keep the executive producer slots open. So, someone like Al can, continue to, if he wants to be the executive producer and continue to push that out, we can create videos that he wants to create. And honestly, people like Al is totally integrated into the company and the workflow and everything at this point. You know what I mean? He's going to Celebration with us. You know what I mean? And it's not just because he's given, us so much money. It's also just because, like, he and I talk all the time. I trust his opinions about things. We hash content out. Like, he's really become, a big part of the company and the brand. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, dude, Trev, trust me, I totally get it, man. I totally get it. And you honestly, you have been super helpful. You know what I mean? Like, you've been on here for a long time. Yeah, dude, I know, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's been a journey, man. Nice, Brian. Dude, I hope you get to retirement real quick, man. That would be real cool. I'm sure it'd free up a lot of your time as well. I still think it's so funny that you knew the dad of that guy, and that's what's, how would I know that somebody that was part of the channel that was on Patreon or whatever would know that person? There's no way I would know that, you know what I mean? But it's just funny, like, because that was a really cool moment for me, man. Like, that kid was cool, and he just had great energy, and I felt like I made their experience there, pretty good, and I was happy to do that. And it's just cool that, because obviously I didn't like go tell everybody about it on YouTube or whatever, but it's cool that you knew about it. That's sweet, man. It's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. As it grows, I'll get earlier to retirement. Nice. You gotta get that Santa business going, bro. Maybe we'll talk about social media sometime. So, Trev, that's an interesting question, because I don't even know. I have to check my emails when I get into Pittsburgh, because we just got the tickets through Brian, I couldn't get into the lotteries, right? Because we didn't have a ticket number. We didn't buy tickets. So I emailed Brian about it, and basically, like, they were trying to figure it out. I was on the phone with some people yesterday about it, and basically right now we're not in the lotteries at all. And so I don't know exactly what's going to happen. We've got to figure it out. I think even though we maybe don't get the lottery, that we might still be able to get into the panels. I'm not sure. Like, we're going to try, real hard to get into all those panels. And there's a lot of other panels that you just have queue lines for and stuff too. So we'll probably have to do some waiting in line. But yeah, either way, like we'll either be at the panels, or we'll be like watching the panels in one of the side rooms or watching them live. Like last year or 2 years ago when I went to Celebration, the funny thing is, as a fan, it's so much better to be in the room. But as a content creator, it's really not. As a content creator, it's actually better to be back in the hotel watching the live stream, because then you can just get right into making, you know what I mean? Yeah, making the content. And I'm not saying we're gonna do that, because to be frank, right now, Star Wars is kind of on the decline as far as like popularity, on this channel and just popularity in general. And Marvel is really where it's at. So like, we pretty much make all of our money off Marvel and Avengers and everything like that. So, it's a busy weekend, man. Yep. And so this trip is more like, we're going to get a lot of great content and I'm very excited, but this trip is kind of more for me as a fan. And it's just a great trip to have. Like, our new social media guy is going to be there. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I can't wait to like work with him a little bit hand in hand. Like, Al's going to be there. Like, I get to meet Al Schuler like in real life. You know what I mean? The amount of conversations I've had with Al and how he's helped me out with hard things. He's just like salt of the earth, man. Just a great dude, and I can't wait to like meet him. Meeting some other content creators, meeting some fans. There's some people that want to know where we're at and meet up and stuff like that. Overall, when we were doing a cost benefit analysis of what Celebration would look like, we just decided to do it. And some of the benefit is not necessarily YouTube growth. Networking, yep. So there's a lot of fun to be had. We'll definitely be working, and we'll crank out some good content for people. And the people that are interested in it, dude, we're gonna do great stuff for you guys. We're gonna make sure that you have our opinions, you get our breakdowns. We'll probably do a fan chat live every single night where we recap what happened. We'll do some produced videos as well. And we'll probably have a lot of content to roll out over time as well. So in the next couple of months, probably leading all the way up to episode 9, we will be talking about things that we experienced at Celebration, showing videos, maybe even having interviews and different things like that. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. But in a couple minutes here, guys, I'm gonna get off. This live stream, I mean, it was just tough. Oh yeah, the trailer's dropping Friday afternoon. It better. Yeah, it better. We're gonna have to live stream again. Oh geez. We're gonna have to live stream again really, really soon, because we need to figure out, what we want to do with the new Patreon, what we want to do. And I'll be in my actual studio. You know what I mean? I won't be in the car in the middle of Pennsylvania. And we'll try to get everybody back in here and have a nice combo. So I'll stay out for a couple more minutes. You guys have any last minute questions? I think I saw something pop up, Trev. You said something, but I don't remember. Do I think it'll be an actual trailer? I do think it's going to be an actual trailer. I think that it sort of has to be, and it has to establish some things, because they really need to grab people's attention and turn people's attention to episode 9. I think that they realize that the brand is in a shaky spot, so I think it's going to be a full-on trailer. Now, it'll still be mysterious and tease, and it might be considered a teaser trailer, but I think it will establish things, and then there'll be a lot that they talk about. I don't think it's a sizzler reel or anything like that, but it depends. Like, maybe we'll get both. Maybe we'll get like a little sizzler reel, and we'll get like a teaser trailer. But we will know, it'll be the first time we know anything about the movie. And I do expect to learn a good bit. Like, you can't just do a full hour panel and not tell us anything. You know what I mean? Like, that's not going to work. So there will be some stuff. Yeah, and title for sure. Title, poster, trailer, concepts. We'll be giddy as children talking about. I'm so excited, and I can't wait. Like that night. What is that, Friday? Yeah, Friday night we'll do a fan chat live. It'll probably have to be after we go out for dinner, and then we'll head back to the hotel and do the fan chat live. Yeah, maybe it will be. Maybe it will be short. Short but good on the hype. Kind of seems like a good formula to me. Yeah, the Rebels panel is going to be awesome. Sick. That's going to be really, really cool. Or do you mean Clone Wars? Or are you talking about recapping Rebels? Yeah. Filoni just kind of recapping. Dude, Filoni does great panels. Last time I was there, I went to the Clone Wars panel, the Lost Episodes, which is interesting now in hindsight to think about. But Pablo Hidalgo and Filoni just sat there for an hour and showed us concept art, rough animations. There was one where Cad Bane shot Boba Fett and stuff like that. Yeah, Ezra, Thrawn, Sabine, and Ahsoka for sure. Definitely hope we're getting some of that. And yeah, I think that stuff will be talked about a little bit. It depends on the panel. It depends on what their plans are. I'm really excited to see what Filoni has to say and what Favreau has to say about the Mandalorian. You know what I mean? Like the Mandalorian panel for me is huge. Huge stuff for me. I'm getting blown up right now on the phone, guys. People are telling me something pretty crazy happened with Avengers just now. So I'm probably got to check that out in a second here. But thank you, gentlemen, for hanging out with me in the middle of PA for a little bit here. I'm sorry this was so, strange, and we missed yesterday. That's probably why a lot of people aren't in here right now. So